Brethren and sisters in Islam, today is Friday, the 6th day of Rabi Awwal, the third month of the Islamic calendar, 1447 years after the hijrah of our noble messenger. May the peace, salutations, and benedictions of Allah be upon him. 29th day of August 2025 of the Gregorian calendar, we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all our good deeds and forgive all our shortcomings and transgressions. Recently, we discussed about the pillars or articles of faith: to believe in Allah, in His angels, books, that is scriptures, the messengers and the prophets, to believe in the last day, and to believe in the destiny, either good or bad. These are the 6 articles of faith. So today, we are going to see some of the examples given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that day of judgment is real. And resurrection, coming back to life after death, is also real. There are a lot of examples given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the glorious Quran. But the most apparent one, the one we see every now and then, is the issue of rainfall. We can see how the earth used to become dead. And after the rainfall, it is being revived and turned to be alive. By becoming alive means it germinates. The seeds that are planted in it will now germinate and grow from the earth, the soil, and the rain that comes down. This is mentioned in Surah Al-Hajj 22 verse 5 to 7. Allah says, "Oh, you mankind, if you are in doubt about the day of judgment, in kuntum fi raybin min al-ba'th, if you are doubting the resurrection, fa inna khalaqnakum min turab, we indeed created you from the soil, the clay, thumma min nutfah." Then we change the mode of creation from the clay now to a cloth, a sperm. Thumma min mudghatin, thumma min alaqatin, thumma min mudghah. Then we change it to a flesh. Then we transform the flesh into a complete creation or incomplete. Then some of you are going to live to old age, and some are not going to reach that age. Then he mentioned that you are seeing the earth, وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ هَامِدًا. You are seeing the earth very quiet. فَإِذَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْهَا الْمَاءَ اهْتَزَّتْ وَرَبَتْ. But when we send down rainfall on the earth, it trembles and it increases in size, and then وَأَنبَتَتْ مِنْ كُلِّ زَوْجٍ بَهِيجٍ. Then it germinates every kind of seed that is adorable. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهُ هُوَ الْحَقُّ وَأَنَّهُ يُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. This happened because Allah is real and He brings back the dead to life. وَأَنَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah is capable of everything. وَأَنَّ السَّاعَةَ آتِيَةٌ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهَا. And the day of judgment is coming. There's no doubt about it. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ يَبْعَثُ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. And Allah is going to raise those that are in the graves. They are going to be brought back to life. They are going to be resurrected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. So this verse is what we are seeing every blessed year, all year round. Now it is rainy season, and we can see how the seeds and other plants are germinating. And we are planting our crops are coming out from the earth. And after some times, they will be relegated to nothing. So this is a good example of how the dead will be brought back to life after their death. Now after this, there are 2 examples. There are other examples in the glorious Quran. Let me start with the example in Surah Al-Baqarah chapter 2 verse 260. demonstrating the Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam as an example. Now one day Ibrahim said to Allah, Rabbi arini kayfa tuhil mauta. Oh Allah, show me how you revive the dead to life. He said, awalam tu'min. Allah says to him, Ya Ibrahim, don't you believe that I can bring back death to life? Qala bala. He said, certainly I believe, oh Allah. Walakin liyatma'inna qalbi. But I want to have a peace of mind. I want to have a tranquility, certainty that yes, it is happening. Qala fakhudh arba'atan min at-tayr. Then Allah said, okay, go and get 4 birds. And he got a cock, that is from the chicken, a cock, then another bird, what do you call it? This peacock. And then the very bird that we used to keep in our houses. He brought them together, 4 of them. Now, after all said and done, Allah said to Ibrahim, I want you to slaughter those birds. Keep their heads, put all the bodies in one single container. Grind the meat, the hair, the blood, the whatever the content of the body, bring them together and grind them together. Which he did. Now Allah said to him, divide this meat into 4. Put every part of the meat in one of the rocks or mountains around. So he divided the meat into 4. This grinded meat. And Allah said to him, now pick every single head and call the name, it will come to you. Now Ibrahim took that of the cock and he called the name, and now the meat, the hair, start coming out from this side, from this side, from the 4 different sides, and they came together, they formed into a cock, and he came to him, Ibrahim put the head, and he became alive. And the same thing he did to other 3 birds. Allah said, I want to tell you that I'm capable of doing everything. Now this is an example that Allah is capable of bringing back dead to life as an example. The second one is verse 259 that came before this one about Uzair. Uzair, Ezekiel, as they call him, Ezekiel, is one of their prophets, one of the prophets of the Jews. And they also called him the son of Allah. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ بْنُ اللَّهِ وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى مَسِيحُ بْنُ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُمْ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ يُضَاهِئُونَ قَوْلَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ قَبْلِ. The Jews said Uzair is a son of God. And the Christian also said Jesus is son of God. So now why do the Jews call him the son of God? Listen to the story. Now Uzair happened to be a very religious scholar. And he lived in a village outside the headquarters of Baitul Maqdis. Baitul Maqdis was then the headquarters, just like Abuja. Let's say, for example, someone living outskirts Abuja, let's say maybe from the airport road, maybe Greek Junction, and he wanted to come and visit someone in Papi, for example. Now, when you are coming from that side to Papi, you must cross the city. You are coming from Greek Junction, you have to come through Abuja to find yourself in Papi. But something happened without him knowing that, because then there was no means of communication, no social media, no telephone, no radio, nothing. So nobody will know what is happening in the city. There was an incident that happened. Their king then had only one daughter, and His wife said she should not be married to anyone, but the king should marry that daughter. He said, I cannot do that until I asked the prophet of Allah, John the Baptist, Yahya. He sent a message, and in response, Yahya said to him, it is not permissible for you to marry your daughter. He posted the information to his wife. He said, Yahya said, it is not permissible for me to marry my daughter. She said, Yahya said that? He said, yes. Said by the John. She waited until after some days. Then she made a plea to the king. She asked him for something. And it was character of the king that he never breaks promise. Whenever he said something, he meant it. So she said, I want something from you. He said, what is that? She said, until when you promise me that you will accomplish that promise. He said, yes. She asked him to swear in Allah's name. He did. Now she said, I want Yahya's head. I want the John's head. He said, Yahya, the prophet? She said, yes. Why? Because he said it is not permissible for him to marry his daughter. Now, the king assembled his ministers and all those in the palace. He told them about his promise, and this is the request of his wife. They said to him, oh my king, you know that if you kill a prophet, you are attracting the wrath of Allah on you and the punishments. He said, yes, I knew. You know, in every site, in every palace, there are evil ministers. So some of them said to him, look, it's only when the blood of that prophet drop on the earth, that's when the calamity is going to befall. And we have many means to do that without allowing the drop of a blood on our land. So they went to Yahya in his hut outside the city, because he never had a house. It was to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they went and found him praying. They took him, they put him in a very big bowl, and they slaughtered him until when the body was separated from the head. The body was separated from the body. And they waited until when the blood finished dropping. Then they took the head, put it in a container, and brought it to the palace. Upon reaching the palace, now the head started talking. Said, La tahillu lak. It is not permissible for you to marry your daughter. So the king was terrified, scared, horribly scared. So when he went in, he said to his wife, come and see what you have attracted to us. Come and see what calamity you have invited for us. She came out and she saw the head talking. The head of the king of Allah. So forget about the Turuji and what have you. They are the descendants of the Jews. To slaughter a prophet. This is what is happening in the north. In recent time, about 38 people were slaughtered in Kauranama, the local government Zamfara state. These are the descendants of the Jews. They slaughter the prophet of Allah. So now, during these ups and downs, the head fell down and the blood drops. And they said to him, certainly we are in trouble. Allah sent another enemy who wasn't even a Muslim, who was a fire worshipper. Who was a fire worshipper. When he came, his own was to conquer, kill, and capture. So he came, Bukht Nasr. He stayed outside the city, and he told his commandant to go into Jerusalem, start slaughtering the children of Israelites until when the blood come here. I will not live here. The women were dancing, taking their alcohol and what have you. Until when the commandant himself, Sa'adun Zanji, asked the Jews to, dug a channel that will channel the blood to where the king was staying. When the Lord came and reached the king, he said, it is time for us to enter the Beit al-Maqdis. He entered into Beit al-Maqdis, destroyed the mosque, destroyed their houses. They were killed. No one was left. So now, a shahid, the point of notice here is that villager, Uzairu, leaving his village, visiting another relatives in another village, but he has to cross the city. He came and saw what happened to Beit al-Maqdis. He knew how beautiful that city was. And now look at the city was all destroyed, demolished, everywhere scattered. And the bodies were littered everywhere. And he passed by. After passing the city, now he said to himself, Anna yuhyi hadhihi Allahu ba'da mawtiha. When is Allah going to revive this city? When is this city going to come back to what we knew of it? Upon saying this, Allah said to an angel, take his life for me. And he was made to sleep for 100 years. Until when the city was revived, they had another wicked that wicked them. So they have many, many bridges and what have you. Now, he was raised. He was awakened from his sleep. And when the angel woke him up, he said, when did you come here? He looked around because he left. When he left, it was around 9 to 8 p.m. And now it's around 5 p.m. So it's either a day or half a day. He said, when did you come here? He said, I think I was here for a day or half a day. Then the angel told him, no, you are here for 100 years. He started arguing, how can you tell me that I'm here for 100 years? How can you? The angel told him, look at your food and your drinks. When he looked, nothing changed. A milk, when you keep it for a day, it changes. But this one for 100 years, Allah has not allowed it to change. And the food did not change. But where is your donkey? He said, look at my food has not changed. And you are telling me 100 years. I spent 100 years here. He said, yes. Where is your donkey? He looked where the donkey was. All were nothing but remains. Bones of his donkeys. Then Allah said to him, look at the bones and we will show you how we are bringing back death to life. From there, he saw the bones now reviving, coming together, hooking to one another. Before you know, a donkey came back to life, and it was his real donkey. Allah said, I want to tell you that I'm capable of everything. He said to himself, I know that Allah is able. Allah is capable of doing everything. This is not the story also. He was back to life after 100 years. Now he went back. Now going back to visitation now is no more, because even the people he was supposed to visit might have gone by now. So he returned back home. Someone who was known by the people, a popular, someone who happened to be, a renowned personnel. Now he went without anyone knowing him. Remember, he was a celebrity, an Islamic scholar who memorized, a Torah just like you drinking water. So now he went home. When he left, his wife was pregnant. And after some days, she gave birth to a baby, a female child. And that female child is now 100 years. The wife is dead. Of course, now the female child, his daughter is 100 years. Some of her children are 80, 70, 60, while he is 20. So he went back home. Some of his grandchildren were 50, 40, 30. Grandchildren are also there. So he went And directly he went to his house. When he met those old men, aged men with their white gray hair, he said to them, "This is Uzairu's house." They said, "Yes." He just entered. They said, "Oh boy, where are you going?" He said, "It's my house. I'm Uzair." They looked at him astonishedly. They said, "How can you say you're Uzair? Where do you come from?" This boy is really something. He's a comedian. Before you know, it became a heated debate. They took the matter to the king. The king invited the scholars, and the scholars were assembled, and they asked him, "What happened?" He said to them, "This is what happened, and this is my house." They sent a message to his daughter, who was 100 years then. She said, "Forget about this boy. How can you tell me about Uzair? Uzair is dead even before I was born. My father was dead. But if he saw Uzair, let me go and see him. He was a saint. Let him pray for me so that I regain my sight." And he prayed for her. When she regained her sight, she saw a small boy of 20. She just laughed. He said, "Look at you. How can you call yourself my father?" He said, "Indeed, I am Uzair." And she mentioned that her mother told her about her father, that her father had something on his back, a stamp on his back where he was injured, and it was open still. That symbol is there. And they said to him, she said also her mother told her that Uzair wrote a Torah, the book of the gospel, with his own hand. If he is truly the Uzair, let him tell us, where is that gospel? He said, "It's inside the house." They went inside the house. He said, "Okay, already, changes have taken place." He said, "Okay, demolish this area. The book is here." And when they demolished, he brought out the Torah. So it was then he narrated the story of what happened to him, and from there they said, "This is really the Son of God." And that was the reason why the Jews called him the Son of God. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى مَسِيحُ ابْنُ اللَّهِ. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, actually there are more examples, about 5 of them now remain, or 4 of them remain in the glorious Quran, that shows the capability of Allah and ability to bring back dead to life. But we don't have enough time because of the time constraint. Inshallah, we meet another Friday to discuss the remaining examples. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.